Hi everyone, welcome back to Cabin Creek Homestead. Today I'm going to be talking about how we are taking measures to keep our pasture dry. So a dry pasture not only is better to look at because mud and horses is just not a pretty thing, especially right after you wash them, but it's really bad for a horse's feet to stay wet. I think I have said that at least 8 times in this very short lifetime of this channel, but it is very, very true. And my biggest angst is wet pastures. So we've done a couple of things. The wind is blowing and it's blowing my tripod and my hair. And I don't know if you're getting feedback in this microphone, but if we just hold on, we're gonna get through this together, okay? Anyway. Wear lip gloss, they said. It'll look nice in a video. No, it makes your hair stick to everything. Maybe I can face the wind. Look like Pocahontas. Okay, that's better. So, here's a couple of things that we've done in our pasture to take measures to keep it dry. The first thing that we did was my husband got up on the roof and installed a large gutter, and that's going to collect, obviously you know how gutters work, sends it all down here to the chute and down here, and this big hunk of mess right here is a French drain system, and he did all of this in the same day. Also, he got on the roof and took video of it, so I'm going to throw that in here, and he's going to talk a little bit about how he did the roof, how he got on the roof and did the gutter and all of that. So flash over to Scott.
Okay, so here's the problem. The water just runs off this barn roof down into the pasture, and it's just a mud slop. And so we're not okay with that. I mean, the horses' hooves need to be kept dry. So the barn doesn't have a gutter on it. So I'm trying to put a gutter on it. The problem is the tin roof overhangs too far from where the fascia is on the barn that when I put the gutter on it, the water just runs right over the gutter. So I have to trim the edge of the gutter. Now, what I'm doing now is about plan D, maybe E. I tried to use, my first thought was to use tin snips. And so I had these really big tin snips, and it worked, actually. It worked for a while, but because it's so high up, I couldn't get enough force to actually make it work consistently. So it looks real ragged, and I didn't like that. So then I tried to use a straight razor, which I got down in it, but again, the angle I'm having to do it, not working. And then, let's see, what else did I try? Oh, well, I tried to come up and do it. I tried to go down and do it. I thought about using that like a hacksaw, but again, the angle's not good. So I remembered I have an angle grinder with a metal blade on it, or a blade for cutting metal. So I'm gonna try that. That's my next plan. So I made my line where I need to cut it. I got my angle grinder up here now. So we'll see how it goes. Angle grinder's working really good. It's just kind of slow because I'm trying to be super careful on the roof. But as you can see, I got a little over half of it cut, so going well. So basically, I'm hanging the gutter now. These little metal brackets, drill, just goes right into the fascia board. This goes in the top of the gutter. The barn actually doesn't have a true fascia like a 2x6 or 2x8 that runs along the top of the barn that you would normally screw these into. But I like it. I think the way the barn looks is really good, so I'm not going to add one. I'm just going to screw these into the end of the rafters. So it should work. Okay, so now I've got to add the next piece of gutter on. So basically you use these connectors. So you got two pieces of gutter like this. It's really simple. This just goes over top of it. So the two pieces go inside and then you screw it. You can take these little gutter screws. See, so it looks like that. Take these little gutter screws and just put, two of them right there, one on the back maybe. And so it looks like that on top. So that's how you connect them. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, so you can see I've got two of them on now. So I'm working on the third one. Alright, it's a little crooked there in the middle, but you can see the gutter system we got going. There it is, all the way across. It's a little crooked, like I said, and it's coming down the side. I had to do that because of the distance from right there. The distance was off, so I had to go down the side. But it's gonna work out great because, see right there? It's gonna come out right there, and then I'm gonna dig my French drain all the way down there to the creek. All right, and I'm about to run a line. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a like a taut line from there all the way down straight, so I have a guide when I'm digging my trench. So that's what's next. Your basic French drain is just a ditch that you dig anywhere from 12 to 24 inches. You lay corrugated, perforated black pipe. I'll show you that in a minute. That way the rain can seep down into it, and then it flows out down to wherever you want to take it. And you put like pea gravel or drainage rocks on top of it just to help you further the water. See, the water will come as it rains into it. And then I'm connecting it to the gutter. So all that water from the tin roof will go into the gutter, into the pipe, and out to the creek. So, So we're gonna take a lunch break now, but just wanted to show you so far what it looks like. It needs to be cleaned out a little bit more, of course, and shaped up a little bit, but that's about 12 inches, 10 to 12, so it needs to be cleaned out a little bit more, but you can see how it's going all the way around. There you go. Making our way. Okay, so we've gone from the barn all the way down on this side of the fence. Now we're getting into the grassy area. So if you can see, I'm making these chunks of grass. Come here, Helen. See, I'm keeping these like this. So when we put the pipe in, we can just lay these back on top and it'll grow back over and you probably won't be able to see it. I didn't care so much out there because it's already muddy. We're gonna reseed that anyway. But for here, I'm leaving these nice little rectangles of grass I'm gonna lay back on top. This is what you want it to look like that, pretty much all the way down. I'm gonna thin that out a little bit. It provides weight to keep the pipe on like in the ground all the way to the bottom, and it provides like filtration. The water just seeps on through into the pipe, which then drains away.
Okay, so now, I mean, you can see how far off the ground he was. I was like, honey, your life insurance policy is like not good enough to make it worth it for me. So no more rooftops alone, please. That was terrifying. But anyway, while Scott was working on the gutter and the French drain, I knew that I needed to kind of have a immediate solution for the mud pit that is right here in front of the barn where all the runoff was coming. The horses love to and the donkeys love to congregate right there. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just like the happening place on the homestead. But anyway, that's where they are. And because they are there so much, they're just, you know, churning up a whole bunch of mud. So what I did was I had me and the kids bring down a whole bunch of sand. About a month ago, we ordered some sand in a big dump truck, and we put it in the inside of the barn and inside of our coop. We have decided that we want a sand coop that is easier to clean, a little bit cleaner, rather than like a pine shavings coop. So we had some leftover sand, so I decided let's bring it right here, and grass can still grow through sand when we replant in the fall. Sand can be a useful tool in growing grass as well, especially the kind of fescue that we're going to be growing. So it won't hurt anything and for our future plans of replanting this area. And I also had some leftover pine pellets. The pine pellets are really, really absorbent. And so since I needed to keep the mud out of that area immediately, I threw some pine pellets down there. They can stay there. I don't need to sift them out, the whole thing. They can just stay. So with the pine pellets and the sand, it cleared out the area almost immediately and gave like a drier surface for everybody to walk on. So anyway, that is how we have decided to try to keep our pasture dry. There are some really cool things out there that you can do to help encourage water to run off. We do have a nice slope, so I don't think that we're going to need any of those things after installing the gutter and the French drain. I think we've got this. Of course, when there's just days and days and days of rain, we're just gonna have to keep them inside. So that's all for today's video. This is how we are keeping our pasture dry, and I thought it might be interesting for you to take a look at some of the hard work that everybody here does. So that's all, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.